Today I am celebrating M. Scott Peck, a man whose genius I feel like I don't really need to do much to justify, but I will really enjoy speaking passionately on his behalf. His unique style and talent came across to me through his books, and it was fairly late in life that I was introduced to The Road Less Travelled, a book that I'd heard the name many times but never got round to reading, and it's probably in my late 20s that I first read it, and it was an absolute revelation. It begins with 3 words which I shall never forget, and it's one of those incontestable truths that just hits home so hard. The book begins, "Life is difficult, full stop." And I found that such a confrontational way to begin the book, but in some ways a relief to hear someone say that life is difficult. There's no getting away from it. Why pretend that life is easy or that it should be easy? It's not. It is difficult. The challenge of survival has always been an issue. Well, I say always. Perhaps there were people who lived in a state of grace where beautiful fruits were falling gracefully into their hands, and where the temperatures were so delightful that they never felt the cold or never had to struggle for any kind of nourishment. Maybe there was a state of a Garden of Eden, and maybe people do live in such a condition even to these days, but actually, the majority of the time, life is difficult. It is a struggle to survive. And to not just survive physically, but emotionally and mentally, it is a challenge to be a human being. And we can either sit in our victimhood and complain and moan, or we can rise to the challenge and say, okay, this is difficult. How can I best confront this experience of what it is to be human? And he makes a very strong case for that being the only sane solution. And in fact, all of the aspects of insanity that we see in the world are manifestations of people not accepting that simple truth. He, in a very small number of pages, elucidates the primary challenges to us establishing decent mental health, and provides very powerful solutions to the common problems. It's an incredible book. I really highly recommend it to everyone. I've read it a number of times, and every time I go back to it, oh my goodness, it's like, oh my God, I'm still struggling with that. And oh no, not that. Oh, I'd forgotten about that. And you know, it's one of those books that you can read every 5 years, and you know, perhaps you're getting a bit better each time, but still coming up against those same issues. He talks about how to parent yourself, how to deal with life in so many ways. I then went on to read his other books, and the other one that really touched me profoundly is called A Different Drum, and it talks about his work as a community agitator. He tried to support people in the building of healthy communities, and travelled around spending his weekends when he wasn't working with his clients one-to-one, working with communities. And he learnt a great deal and distilled his observations into actionable approaches that he made it his life's calling to pursue and to help people in that way. It's an incredible book. I think so many of the failed community projects that I have participated in, but also those I've seen, and many others in the world, would have benefited from reading that book first. A Different Drum, I really highly recommend it. So between those 2 books alone, there's more than enough to keep you going for a lifetime. If I had to choose a final book, if I had to get rid of all of my other books, I have a feeling that A Road Less Travelled would be one of the final contenders, because it is just so great for being able to revisit it. It's never the same book twice. So today I am celebrating with enormous gratitude the life and the work of M. Scott Peck.